What's up, guys? Cody again from Harper. Hey, listen, I want to put you on to something. Guys, come down and take advantage of this car. You got a 2024 Lyriq sitting down here right now. It's all EV. I know that it scares everybody, but don't be afraid of it. Come down and drive this car. And, you know, to show you guys the confidence we have in this vehicle, we're going to really push this thing this month. We're going to give you $10,000 in discount off this car to come down and try this thing out, take it for a drive. Listen, you don't want to buy it, that's fine. Come down and drive it. At least let a salesperson or an expert on the vehicle tell you all about this car. What we're going to do next is something we haven't done yet. Me and Andrew are going to take a little ride in this car and talk about the vehicle kind of as we're driving. Andrew's going to ask me some questions. I'm going to be able to answer this for him and hopefully answer some of your questions in the meantime. Thanks, guys. What's up, guys? Cody from Harper. Hey, listen, we're going to do a video on this Lyriq. I want to show you guys something that we haven't done before. So I know a lot of you guys are afraid to come out and drive this vehicle because it's an EV. I don't want you to be afraid of this vehicle. I mean, honestly, come check it out. If I told you guys I could give you a vehicle that you'd never put gas in 10 years ago, you guys would be crazy. You guys would think I'm nuts, right? And I mean, everybody would buy that car because there's no gas money involved with that. So there's no stopping at the gas station to fill up, anything like that. Well, it's here, guys. I mean, it's 10 years later, and you can come down and buy the car. You never have to stop at a gas station and fill up. It's incredible, but I want to give you guys a kind of a view of driving this vehicle and kind of give you an idea, hopefully, on this the recording here, of how quiet this car is and how powerful this car really is. But we're going to take a little test drive here quick. I'm going to start it up. Very simple, same as any other car. You get in, you're going to hit the brake here, push the start button. Guys, the vehicle's already running and it's silent. Okay, the only thing you're going to hear is the ventilated seats kicking on, the air conditioner if you do have it turned on. So we'll turn that on here. This is what your gauge cluster looks like, guys. Same thing as your fuel gauge. Okay, everybody's worried about oh, how many miles do I have? This is 307 miles of driving range, and the fuel gauge, the battery gauge, still works the same way. As you're on quarter tank, you're on quarter battery left. Everybody says, well, what happens if you run out of battery? Well, the same thing happens when you're out of gas. You stop. You're broke down on the side of the road. So the cost of ownership with this vehicle is so minimal due to the fact that there is no fuel that you add to the vehicle. There's very little maintenance. Truly, the only maintenance you have to worry about is tires. And everybody's going to say, well, brakes. Well, the brakes kind of work a little different in this car. They don't actually activate all the time. Yes, you might be hitting the brake pedal, but that is generally your electric motor slowing the car down. Where the brakes actually activate is in an emergency situation. When you stab them brakes, then the electric motor is going to work with the brakes to slow this vehicle. The vehicle, with having all the weight in the floor, which is where the battery is stored, is extremely safe. And as far as rollover conditions, the vehicle is very, very, very hard to roll over. I'm sure you guys have all seen the videos on YouTube of like Teslas trying to get them to roll over, and they would roll back on their all fours. Lyriq pretty much do the same thing, all the way to the back and the floor. The nice part about Lyriq too is it's gained a lot of room in this vehicle. The reason for it is there is no transmission tunnel down here. This is now storage space that you guys can use. You do have a nice little fold-out cup holder here, or change holder, whatever you want to put in there. And that's all the way through the car. The car is flat bottom, so you're going to gain a lot of space you don't really realize you lose when you have an actual transmission in a vehicle and have that transmission tunnel coming through there. So that's a nice advantage of this vehicle. We're going to go ahead and put the vehicle in drive. We're going to go out here on 51. We'll drive down the road. Andrew might have some questions for me. I can answer for him. But I want you guys to take notice too. I mean, it is a very hot day out. I'm going to have the AC going a little bit. I want you guys to take notice too as how quiet this car truly is. So we'll go ahead and get this thing rolling. So putting it in drive, foot in the brake, pull back and down. We are now in drive. Okay, here we go. I'll turn the AC off for you guys too, so you guys can really try to listen here when we pull out. We're currently doing 50. No wind noise, no engine noise, no road noise. You know, Cadillac's known to be very, very quiet from the get-go and a smooth riding vehicle. That very much holds true with this Lyriq. It is a very, very quiet, it's the quietest vehicle I've ever been in, and probably the smoothest. They've done a really good job with this EV and keeping that Cadillac luxury experience, you know, at the forefront of this design. With that being said, that's just what you get. You get a really smooth, quiet, luxurious vehicle. I know right now, Andrew's sitting over there getting a massage in his ventilated seats. I know I'm doing the same thing because we don't get out of the office very much.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's different, right? So it's cool to have that. You have power seats, heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, lane keep assist. This has adaptive cruise control, which is something that not every vehicle has anymore. You know, most vehicles have cruise control. This is a little different. This has one very special thing on it. It's called Super Cruise. Now, we just so happen to be on a road that doesn't allow us to use Super Cruise, and that's fine because I don't think it's something I want to do in the video just yet. I think it's something more you guys should come and experience. Everybody's, oh, I don't want my car driving itself. Well, until you experience that for the first time, you'll continue to say that, and that's fine. When you guys come out here and let my drivers take you guys out on a road like 70 and experience that, then tell me you don't want your car driving you. It's exceptional. The car really is, Cadillac is really known to have the first real self-driving vehicle. And their claim to fame with that is there's a sensor that's up in here that keeps watching me to make sure that I'm not sleeping. You know, I know you guys have seen all the Tesla owners getting into car accidents and stuff because they're crawling in the back seat and they're sleeping for hours at a time and letting their car drive. The Lyriq doesn't allow you to do that. The Lyriq actually keeps track of you to make sure you're good while it drives, because the Lyriq's fine. The Lyriq can handle changing lanes on its own. It can handle, you know, the speed of the vehicles in front of it on its own, stop signs, things like that. It's really, really cool to see Cadillac kind of making this appearance in this world. Anyhow, there's some really cool stuff you haven't seen at night with this vehicle. It's kind of hard to show during the daytime, which is like your ambient lighting. There's lights that go throughout the car, really make it kind of your vehicle. There's memory seats in this vehicle. There's a 19-speaker AKG sound system, which fills this car up with sound. It's amazing. So there's a couple of things you can do here in the dash. I mean, right now we're looking at the gauges. I can pull my maps up here, which is really nice. You can do the same thing over here. You can have two different maps if you'd like. One here, one here. I don't know why that would be a thing, but this is pretty cool. No more looking to the right to see my map and make sure that I'm in the correct position or correct spot. I can look right here at the dash and you know, see where I'm going. Also, there's an energy tab over here I can pull up. It shows me how many kilowatts I'm using per hour, shows me my speed, the gear that I'm in, my battery range, and things like that. And also the Super Cruise, you know, whether it's available or not, and if I would have my cruise control set, you know, kind of where that needs to be. So right now we do have a adaptive cruise control set. So I'm going to take my foot off the brake and the gas, and the Lyriq's going to go ahead and slow itself following the vehicle here in front of us. We're down to 46, 45 miles per hour. If I want a bigger gap adjustment, I can go ahead and actually move this vehicle farther away from me. If you feel more comfortable following this vehicle farther away, you can adjust that gap, that distance right here. 3 car lengths, 2 car lengths down to 1 car length. It's really personal preference. Obviously, the most safe option would be to have that 3 car length, you know, set. You can obviously take phone calls from your steering wheel. You know, command the car to do things. I was simply saying, "Hey Google," it'll pull up some things here for us. Change the temperature to 65 degrees, please.
Okay.
And you'll see here it changes on the car. Really cool stuff. The reasoning for it is not as the cool factor, it's a safety factor. No more do you have to take your eyes off that road and adjust things here. You can now simply tell the car what you want it to do and it'll do it. So keeping your hands on the steering wheel, you know, and your eyes on the road, that's a very safe option that Cadillac started in there for us. So it's really neat.
Yeah, show me about the regenerative braking, Cody.
Sure, so there's a paddle. There's one pedal braking, which I'm going to show you. My foot's off the brake here. I'm going to squeeze this paddle on the steering wheel, and the vehicle is going to slow down. okay, all the way to a stop if need be. What that does is it actually captures the forward momentum of the vehicle and turns that forgotten energy, the kinetic energy of the vehicle moving forward, and turns it into charging energy for the battery. So over the course of 100 miles, depending on where you're driving and how you're driving, if you use this correctly, you can gain a couple more miles of energy storage out of that drive just by letting off the brake. So it's really cool. Now, you can have the vehicle kind of do it automatically by simply turning this on here, which is called regenerative braking. And you can set the levels here from low to high. It's hard to get used to, I'm not going to lie. That's one thing I'm getting used to yet with driving EVs. You know, obviously if you're in a gas-powered vehicle, you take your foot off the gas, the vehicle is going to slow down. You can have that option set, or you can have it where it almost brakes for you, you know, and slows the vehicle, which is nice. But now we'll give it a little power hit. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to wait for traffic to clear up here. I'm going to come out on a nice open highway and kind of show you guys here what this vehicle really is capable of. Ready, set, go.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And you got to keep in mind, we're coming off an exit ramp and uphill on the highway. The car is amazing, and for you to feel this, it's really something you got to check out. It's very eye-opening, and just, you know, thinking about it, we didn't use a drop of gas doing that.
Not one.
Not one drop. Matter of fact, we haven't used one drop of gas since we left the dealership today, which was about 5 minutes ago.
Now, Cody, the best part about an EV, like you're talking about, is not, there's a gas station right up there. We don't have to think about stopping there.
No.
But the best use case of the EV is if you can charge at your home.
Correct.
Now, does Cadillac have any incentive to help with charging at home, or?
Yeah, I'm actually glad you asked that. So right now, Cadillac, General Motors has partnered with Qmerit, which is a company that will pay up to $1,500 for home charging installation. Now, in most cases, that will more than cover that expense. In some cases, you might have to throw a couple $100 at it, depending on who your electrician is, if, you know, whatever, or depending on the setup of your house, if it's outdated and you're bringing it up to date. It might be a couple $100 more than $1,500, which, you know, at this point, again, who cares? You're going to save that in fuel in a few months, you know. So yeah, there's an incentive right now. Qmerit's offering $1,500 towards the installation purchase or installation of a charger at your home, which is really nice.
And the best part too is you can charge at home, but you know, you're not anchored to your home with one of these. You can. There are public DC fast chargers available out there from EVgo, from Electrify America, so forth. So if you want to take this on a trip, you can do that very easily as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So currently, right now, you know, I was actually just told something last week. I'm trying to remember the exact numbers, so don't crucify me if I'm wrong here. There was 10,000 charging stations in America at that point. So, you know, last year there wasn't a whole lot of charging stations. This year there was only 10,000 less charging stations than there is gas stations, and that is nationwide. So in 1 year we have grown that part of the infrastructure to really adapt to this change that's coming. Guys, whether you like it or not, it's coming. It really is. And to be, you know, I guess would say, you know, bullheaded or just not, I don't know, not wanting to just adapt, or not even adapt, but just to check out new things. Guys, this is it, you know. We had pushback on computers when computers came out and cell phones.
That's right.
And guess what? My 73-year-old father-in-law has a cell phone.
Yeah.
It's a flip phone, but he's got one.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense, right? It'll take a little bit for these to make sense to the public. It will. Yeah. I think that once this is just something that people are, you know, getting the hang of and realizing just how easy it is to drive one of these cars, and how cost effective it is to own one of these cars, that's when it'll start making sense to people. Like, you know what, that's not a bad idea.
And I think just riding in this for the first time, if you're looking for a luxurious experience, a Cadillac experience, when you're pushing the boundaries of luxury and quietness and comfort, there really is no better choice of a vehicle.
This is the best of.
Than an EV. Teslas, I heard, they're good.
Yeah,
they're nice.
Sure.
But you're not going to have massaging seats, ventilated seats, all of this panoramic display here.
And you don't have a backing of Cadillac and General Motors. So understand, Tesla they have a good thing going, and they would kind of really vamped all this stuff up. But now we have a GM backing. You have a company that has been around for, a ton more years than Tesla. But what I want to show you real quick, I didn't mean to like throw this out here, but
sure,
you're
getting a milkshake.
Yeah, right. So here's a sheet. We can easily pull up to this right here, get out, plug this car in, go inside, use the restroom, get a drink, get some lunch, and come back out, unplug the car, hop back in, and it's pennies on the dollar to charge this vehicle. It's really, it's not that bad. People, one of the biggest questions customers ask me is, well, I'm going to take a trip to Florida next week. What do I have to worry about? Nothing. You're going to get the really cool app that comes with Cadillac that's going to allow you to punch in your address here that you're going to in Florida, and this map will kind of map out your entire trip. And what I mean by that is it'll show you an idea of when you need to charge and when you need to stop, and you can actually reserve charging stations for when you're going to arrive, which is really cool. Really cool. Makes driving a lot easier. I mean, I can't reserve a gas pump anywhere, but I can reserve a charging station, and I know the car knows when I got to charge based off how I drive this car, which is really cool. The home EV charging thing. So there's some really cool stuff you can do with this vehicle too. And it takes a little bit of setup, and my guys here at Harper can show you guys how to do this stuff. But so we all have, generally your electric bill has, or your electric company has off-peak hours. They charge you a different amount per kilowatt at certain times of the day because you have peak hours and things like that. And then you have off-peak hours, which are usually between like the hours of 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. when everybody's asleep. So you can actually schedule this car when you plug it in at the house to be ready for you, 80% charge and ready to go for the next morning at 8 a.m.
Wow.
Now, on top of that, being ready, you can schedule or tell the car that off-peak hours, where you're getting charged the least amount per kilowatt hour, is between the hours of 2 and 4. So this car will charge slowly until it hits 2 o'clock in the morning. And then it will just start, it'll just start charging like crazy from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., then trickle back off. But when you come out in the morning, your car will be sitting here at 80%. Ready to go. And I say 80%, everybody thinks 100%. You don't need 100% to go where you gotta go. 80% is that sweet spot that General Motors recommends. Teslas are the same way, Rivians are the same way. That 80% mark is where this car is perfect to just drive anywhere you want to go.
Now, I haven't heard of off-peak gasoline, so that's one up for the electric boys.
Well, off-peak gasoline usually comes election year, which good news for you guys is election years this year. But afterwards, hey, it's going to be a little different.
We still sell gasoline-powered Cadillacs as well. Yes,
we do. Yep, yeah. If you guys want to come down and check out the gasoline-powered Cadillac versus the EV, I 100% invite you to do so. Yeah, it's such a different ride. I honestly think, in my humble opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, this is the nicest, smoothest, softest, quietest riding vehicle that I sell or have offered for sale. Yeah. The Escalades, don't get me wrong, they're great, but they're $150,000. This is $70-some thousand, and we're taking $10,000 off of it in discount, not including those other rebates. So you can really own this car very, very, very well, and get a great experience out of this car. It's a joy to drive. And guys, we have right in front of us, here's our brand new Chevy Equinox EV. So keep in mind, guys, we have both. Please come check us out if you have any questions. Get a hold of me. Give me a call at 724-929-8000, extension 136, or you can just call in here and ask for Cody. Thanks, guys.